I do need to read this thing. Bib and Tucker.
Bib and Tucker.
Limited release makers and new Riff. New Riff.
Oh, yeah, I'll grab it.
And we probably need glasses too, right?
New ones, yeah.
Yeah. You got the bell?
That's never a good idea.
I've tried that.
It's a lot like giving the
Tried it
iron for
once.
anniversary. Just once.
Yes. The 7-year anniversary is a servant bell.
Actually, I think I did have a bell once when I had like maybe my tonsils out. No, it was.
Did you really?
It was wisdom teeth. I had my wisdom teeth. I had like waited until we got married because long story, but
That's awesome.
yeah, I had a bell. It didn't.
How'd that
go
work?
No, not well. I mean, the bell worked great.
It was thrown across the room.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Bourbon Boys. As you guys know, this is a podcast where four guys get together and talk about the P's of life, personal, professional, parenting, and family with a PH. So, we're not bourbon snobs. We're just a bunch of guys that like to get together and talk, and just happens to talk about bourbon a fair amount. So, pretty simple. This is podcast number 8. I'm Krat, and I'm here with my bourbon boys, Alton.
Hello, Krat. Welcome to November.
Thank you, sir. Kurt.
Hey there.
And Do.
Yo, let's go.
All right. So tonight we've got 3 new bourbons to taste in front of us. We've got new Riff, we've got Bib and Tucker, and we've got Maker's Mark limited release.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try the new Riff. You've been talking that one up for a while, Kurt.
Yeah, well, I've had it for a while. I think this is when I was up in Wisconsin taking photos and sending photos to you guys, and you're like, get this one, get this one.
Oh, yeah. You were at the, was it Total Wine?
Total Wine. Yeah, they have a ton of options up there. So
Cool.
I think you had said get the new Riff. I got Angel's Envy at the same time and one other one. So
Good.
Was that the trip you brought me the Bib and Tucker?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it.
The Makers, I was down in Spartanburg, South Carolina for my daughter's parents' weekend.
Nice.
At Wofford. And a nice gentleman pointed me in the direction of a local liquor store, and they had this particular private release, and then there's a new one actually that's specific to South Carolina. So we'll talk about that at some point.
Sweet.
Krat at an ABC store. I don't think we've heard that before. Where you come?
It's usually on the way to Bourbon Boys.
Wow, yeah. I officially don't have a problem, but yeah.
Yeah, you do. You don't do your homework, dude.
I
So
do
is-
my homework.
Is South Carolina regulated like North Carolina as far as ABCs, or are they private
No.
stores?
Alton would know. This was his hometown.
The distribution is, but I don't think they have the pricing controls as North Carolina.
Okay.
So you can only purchase it through an ABC store. So I grew up always with growing up Southern Baptist in South Carolina. My family, booze were bad. So the ABC liquor stores with the big red dots.
Gotcha.
Where, you accelerate. You don't slow down. You accelerate. So.
Oh, man.
All right.
So what's on tap for tonight? We're trying to ease into November here.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Coming up on Thanksgiving.
Good.
Yeah. It's a good. I think it's a good show to talk about. What are the different uses of bourbon around Thanksgiving? I always thought of Thanksgiving as a great bourbon holiday. Not that there's a bad bourbon holiday, but this
True.
one seems like it's it's the cold time of year. You got a lot of good flavors, good tastes, and good chance to have some really good bourbon, whether you're hosting or bringing it to a host.
Or cooking, dude,
Cooking
like
with
you
it.
do. Yeah.
I've used bourbon in quite a few things for Thanksgiving.
And before we got started, Kurt was mixing up some old fashions.
Yeah.
It's a good
it's
holiday
good
drink.
stuff.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep. I love it.
So we want to start there.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you pass that bottle over to me?
There you go.
So this is an interesting one actually because it's a very new distillery, and so on the back of the bottle it says a new riff on an old tradition. They were started in 2014, so I believe what we're drinking is probably one of the first batches because they actually distill a minimum of 4 years.
Where are they based?
They are based in Kentucky,
Okay.
and so it's kind of an interesting. I mean, surprisingly, you wouldn't be surprised that there isn't a whole lot out there in regards to the history, obviously, because they started a long time ago. But their whole premise is that they're building on the American tradition, right? From 1897 Bottled in Bond Act, which is really about the standard high quality standard of aged spirits. And so New Riff Bourbon is bottled in bond without chilled filtration. Boy, I'm having a hard time with my words tonight. Sorry, guys.
Well, you are one solid old fashioned in, so
I am one solid old fashioned in. So I don't know if it's that or the eyes, but so the mash bill is non-GMO grains, 65% corn, 30% rye, and 5% malted barley. So again, their whole play is that it's a new riff on Kentucky's most hallowed whiskey traditions.
So probably a little sweet. I'm going to guess before we drink.
I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess.
Yeah,
I'm going to guess.
Rye.
There is a little spice to it. So
what was the rye percent?
Okay, you guys are starting with all your questions again. Seriously.
What page is that on?
Kurt, did you do your homework?
I did my homework.
All right, I'm just checking.
I'm trying to get to it, but you guys aren't listening. So,
okay.
So it's made with a full sour mash. And so I'll get to a little bit about them. Well, we talked about the mash, the 65 corn, 30 rye, 5% malted barley. The appearance, as you guys have seen, is really extra rich. So it's got a really nice amber color to it. The nose is, well, I'm going to ask you guys, what are you smelling?
I smell a Sharpie.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just has a real, I don't know. I have a real, I wouldn't say chemical, but I have a real paint thinner, turpentine type thing. Like it's got a real. It doesn't have. I don't have a sweet flavor.
Yeah, very spicy. Very spicy.
So it has a high rye in it, so that might be partially what you're picking up on. So there's a rye spice. The taste, they describe it as broad, leading to a sweeter vanilla accent. Before coming up on the rye spices, which is a clove, cinnamon, mint, and dark berry. They describe the finish as long.
I got clove.
Yeah, definitely got the clove.
White pepper and clove finish.
Oh, white pepper, certainly the white pepper.
Yep.
So,
I can do pepper.
So
too much pepper for me.
So, I mean, I think, so real quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time on that part, but I think the whole idea of the new riff on a new tradition, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to make old fashions with this and take a little new riff on the actual old fashioned by making it with maple syrup. So kind of playing on the idea of Thanksgiving. But the old fashioned, I don't know if you guys know the history of the old fashioned, but do you know when the old fashioned was first made?
I do not.
Any guesses?
No.
Let's go with
Not at all.
Give me one, dude.
1803.
1918. Kurt's kind of trying to give it away here. 1835.
I'm going to go 30s.
Okay. So in 1806, the upstate New Yorker newspaper, The Balance and Columbian Repository, described it as a drink defined as a cocktail, as a stimulating liquor composed of spirits of any kind, sugar, water, and bitters.
Yeah.
Sounds like an old-fashioned.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, man.
Early 1800s. So it's been around for a long time. The great thing about this drink is that it's a really easy drink. There's not a whole lot of complexity to making it. So, just about anybody can do it because really all you need is...
Well, Kurt did it, so I mean, it's...
Exactly. But in all honesty, like you can make this with bourbon, you can make it with brandy, you can make it with tequila. Like there's so many different varieties of it out there. Although I think tradition would be bourbon or brandy. Yeah. And then you add a little sugar with some ice, throw some bitters in there, and voila, you have an old fashioned.
It's a pretty drink too. I mean, Kurt did a great job with the maple syrup. I think the maple hid this crazy ass white pepper taste I'm getting.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
The old fashioned was excellent. The straight
absolutely.
Bourbon,
not so much.
It's pretty. I don't think. Did you hit on the proof of this bad dog? I think we could use it for fuel on the way home.
Yeah. I did not hit on the proof, but I want to go back to the old fashioned though, because I think it's a classic drink that I don't think has ever really gone away, right? You have kind of drinks that are cyclical, but this one's been around obviously for a long time. 2016, it was voted the best drink of the year. And I can tell you just based on some work I'm doing right now that the consumption of the old fashioned has gone up by almost 200% in the last year.
Interesting.
So I think it's as we see the onset of cocktails and mixed drinks becoming more popular. There's a craft I kind of back to them, and so I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool. I didn't know it was that old. I mean, I grew up with my dad drinking them. And again, the great thing that you can adapt them, you can use a different base spirit, you can use different sweeteners, throw some different bitters in there and just mix it up however you want. So there's really there's no rules. So
interesting.
So that's New Riff. That's New Riff and my new riff on the old fashioned.
So Kurt, where were you when you had your favorite old fashioned?
I was in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was this when you guys were?
I was
proposing.
No, that was up in Montana. Oh. So I was there actually for work, and it's funny that Salt Lake City, Utah, that I had the best old fashioned ever. But we went to this really cool little bar, and the bartenders, no pun intended, and then he would literally make one of the best drinks ever, and I had an old fashioned there that was truly the best old fashioned I've ever had.
It's interesting that you can actually have one that tastes significantly better than the others because there's 3 items in the drink.
Yeah,
for the most part.
He did this smoky. I don't know. It was he sprayed it in the glass before he made it, and you could really taste that. And at first I didn't think I was gonna like it. It just kicked you right at the end. It was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
We I think it was about 2 years ago. We're in downtown Charlotte at Five Church, and they take their glasses just like a margarita glass, and instead of spinning it in salt, they spin it in crushed nuts. And then they build the old fashioned in it, and so when you're drinking it, you're getting a little bit of texture and chewing. It's almost like you're eating a fruitcake, but very good drink.
Not a bad idea.
Very good drink.
I hate fruitcake.
Not a bad idea.
Well, yeah.
So the term without chill filtration. I'm not familiar with that.
No, I haven't heard that either.
Kurt, did you find that in your
I'll
research?
get back to you on episode 9.
It's a cool bottle.
No one else does either.
Yeah, apparently.
It turns out.
It's a cool bottle. It's got
we'll figure that out.
It's got kind of a black top that then goes translucent at the bottom. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's
like ombre.
It's like ombre.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I guess.
That's a creative word.
It's a black to bourbon ombre.
So do we ever even tell folks that it is 112 proof?
No, is it really?
Yeah, that's why my lips are a little numb.
Yes. Okay, I'll take a little bit. I haven't had it.
You didn't pour?
I haven't had it need just a little bit though, please.
I could see this as if you've had and maybe try this one on. If you've a little more than that.
I didn't say pee in the cup. I said give me a little bit of bourbon.
If you've had a real salty, going back to the white pepper, if you've had a real salty Thanksgiving dinner, right? So turkey's been brined. Someone's had a heavy hand with, coarse salt or all the sides and the gravy, super, super salty. I wonder if this would be a good counterbalance, that salt to pepper, bringing in that spice. It's getting better the more I drink it. The first couple sips are a little questionable, but I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's not. It wouldn't be something I would go to, but it is. It's got a sharp spice. It kind of goes up into the sinuses. It is. I don't see it as a long finish. I think you said they kind of claim a long finish. I don't see this as a long finish, but yeah, if somebody really has is a big fan of spices and spicy, I think they may enjoy this.
But it's even the spice thing though. It doesn't have a whole lot of. I'm trying to think of what complexity or what, but it's you typically when you something spicy, you're like, okay, what are these flavors I'm tasting? But this is just boom, it's spicy, but it's all pepper for me at any rate. I mean, the first couple of sips kind of slap you in the face.
Yes,
I think it's great in the old fashioned because this is what you put in the old fashioned, right?
Yeah.
So you get a lot of sweet in the old fashioned. The syrups, the maple syrup, the cherries, the bitters even can have a sweetness to them, and you've got an orange peel in there.
Yeah,
this I think is a great counterbalance to that because it gives it doesn't just turn it into a syrupy sweet drink. It's got a good little spice to it.
Well, and I think it breaks some of that sweetness down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I will tell you, I don't know if my palate's just a little different because I think we ran into this on, was it Old Granddad or
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Well, we were all crying, and you're like, I think I like this.
That's right. It must be maybe a Wisconsin thing. It's so freaking
but
cold.
no. But in seriousness, like I actually do kind of like this one.
It grows
Like,
on you.
It does.
To Derek's point, you got 5 or 6 sips into it. It starts.
Yeah. No, I can't feel my tongue right now, but
That's
Problem
I had the
solved.
same thing.
seriously,
in my lips.
like I can feel it. Like it's, but I can feel the warmth going all the way down,
Yeah.
and that's. So you think like on a cold night, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not bad. I'd probably drink it on ice versus neat like this. But
I'd add it to the cabinet. I think it's a good addition.
Yeah.
I'm not a big rye fan, so this might be as close to that spicy bite of a rye that I would get to. So
well, it's a riff.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's good.
All right.
Let's call it a riff.
So we were talking Thanksgiving, and Alton talked about growing up in South Carolina in a Southern Baptist family where you accelerated past the ABC store. One of my favorite family traditions, we used to always get together at my grandparents' house, and it was my dad and his 2 brothers and his sister and their families, and so we would have just massive, 30 people kind of event. And I'll never forget as a kid, it would be cold and raining outside. And I couldn't figure out why my dad and my uncles and my aunt were standing at the back of the car with the trunk open.
Because that's where all the alcohol is.
Because that's where all the alcohol was.
Okay.
And my,
I left something in the trunk. I'll be right back.
yeah, and I need all my siblings to help me.
It's heavy.
But I mean, literally, it was the same kind of thing. My grandparents were Baptist, and you did not have alcohol in the house. And my grandmother's father was an alcoholic, and so there definitely wasn't any alcohol in the house.
Okay.
But I just remember as a kid this big bay window in their den, and you look out on the driveway, and there's everybody standing out there
Okay.
On the house.
drinking out of the trunk.
So I have to build on that a little bit because when
fantastic.
I met Liz grew up in a very similar, not Southern Baptist because we're not from the South, but very similar in that no alcohol in the house, no dancing, she's a lot more fun than that. But
Well, we could dance.
Oh, okay.
You don't want me to, but we could dance. But anyway, yeah.
But I remember being at their place for holidays, and her aunt, who they called Auntie Caca, which is hilarious in itself, would show up with a
Term of endearment.
mayonnaise jar with a rubber band piece of fabric over the top with her hooch in it.
Okay.
She'd be coming in with it probably was bourbon or scotch or something.
Any cacas here?
But there was no hiding it in the trunk. She just came in with her mayonnaise jar.
Good for her.
I love it.
Nothing like a strong, independent woman.
Seriously.
I love it.
Anyway,
We had an aunt that she was very forgetful, and she every year her job was to, in a mayonnaise jar, she would make the gravy. So she'd get the roux going, and that was her one contribution. Like she'd show up, she'd head right to the drippings with her mayonnaise jar. She'd get the roux going, add it, and then she forgot that she made it. And later in the meal, as we're sitting down, she'd pour the gravy, and she'd be like, "But this gravy is amazing. Who made this? Did you make this?" She completely. By the time I hit the table, the memory had timed out.
Oh, wow.
She's lucky. She's lucky it didn't come out in congealed chunks.
you sure she wasn't playing with you guys?
Nope,
Okay.
absolutely not.
And she wasn't just nipping the bud along the way.
She may have been. Yeah,
Okay.
it's entirely
She
possible.
had 2 mayonnaise jars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Don't get them confused.
That's right, exactly.
So the flip side of my family drinking out of the trunk in the rain, my
New T-shirt.
Sarah's family fully believed that Thanksgiving began with
Trick or trunk.
Yeah, it began with cocktails, and you cooked through it, and you drank through it, and
I subscribe to that.
Yeah, and you had your meal, and by the time the meal was over, you were kind of stacking food on top of a good old buzz, and it was time for a nap.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that was kind of the complete opposites from my family and her family. But I very quickly learned that her family was a lot more fun when it came to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
Yeah. Well,
you
listen,
have
everybody
you
in my
ever-
family had a bar in the basement, so
That's true.
I can attest that we were more fun than Liz's family.
There was nothing else to do but snowmobile and drink in Wisconsin. and I have heard stories about the two of those things being paired up.
Ooh.
So
Bad combo.
I think we all need to go up to Wisconsin
All right.
to my sister's place sometime.
in August, yes.
Dead of winter.
Be careful.
I know.
They've already gotten 10 inches of snow up there.
Man.
So you guys want to y'all want to move over to Bib and Tucker?
Let's give it a
All right,
shot.
let's do it.
Yeah. So I brought the Bib and Tucker tonight, and Kurt had muled this back from Wisconsin across the line.
It was in my right
I know.
pant leg of my
I don't want details.
He's the one guy that still checks a bag. But Bib and Tucker is
did it for you, Derek.
It's a relatively new bourbon, so it's a new brand. But the Bib and Tucker is a throwback to your finest attire. So this is back to the starch board tuxedo shirts and the placards. So there's a lot of, I guess, ceremony in this one, which is kind of fitting for the holidays as you start to get all gussied up. The bottle itself it reminds me of like
that again, gussied up.
Gussied up.
Okay.
So I think Alton and I may need to translate this a little bit. That means your finest overalls.
Yeah. And flannel.
Yes.
With a nice shirt.
Iron flannel shirt. Yes.
Yeah, that's the bib part for you and me to
It's clean denim.
get back to your starch
You guys going
tuxedo
to?
shirt.
You guys are like you going to the party out? Namaste, right here.
I
love it.
Bib and Tucker.
That's right.
This one is so to me the bottle reminds me of like a German European bottle. The bottle is super dark. It's got a lot of embellishment on it, Bib and Tucker, and it says peerless quality when it's a fine time to drink. So haven't met a fine time not to drink, but this one's pretty good.
Kind of looks like it came out of an apothecary.
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
It does have that
does
real
smell like
super thick glass look to it. And in doing research on this one was a tough one to find a lot of information on. Originally, it's got a cork top, so it has a little bit of like a throwback to maybe a pirate ship and rum.
Is that enough, Kurt?
That is good.
Good start.
Thank you.
All right.
It's the only guy that doesn't have to drive tonight.
This one started in Sonoma, California, and it was a spin-off from a winery, and those guys have moved on. They've sold it off to Deutsch Family. There you go. In 2017.
A Deutsch family?
No, it's called Deutsch Family.
Oh,
Deutsch
okay.
Family Spirits out of Connecticut. 2017. They also own Masterson's Rye and Redemption Rye. So we've talked about Redemption, but they've got the rye brands. They believe that this is a mixture of Masterson's and Jack Daniels. So it's hard to trace down the source of it. But they said that a few folks who know a little bit of the backstory, I think that this is actually a blend of bourbons and whiskeys to get to a certain bourbon count. It's charred in number 1 barrels, number 1 char.
Not number 4.
So not number 4. So it's a light char.
Okay.
And it's actually the lightest char that you can do to
Qualify.
to qualify for bourbon.
All right.
And they say the lighter char gives it a leathery taste and smoothness. So you don't get the deep oaky, smoky vanilla taste. Its mash bill is 70% corn, 26% rye, only 4% malted barley. It's going to be on the sweeter side.
Yeah.
And this is a 6-year small batch bourbon, 92 proof. So it's a little bit on the lighter proof side than what we've got going on the table tonight. And they say on the nose, I'll tell you what I get. I get green apple and vanilla. And some say that they'll get leather and butterscotch.
I get butterscotch. I was gonna say butterscotch.
Okay. And as you taste it, I've read reviews that said it tastes like fresh cut grass, which I don't know if that's a good thing. But I get like it's got a crisp. I get fresh cut apple. I don't get any smoke or oak in it. And then the finish, it's got a lingering finish, but it's very smooth and very sweet. What are you guys getting?
So
Kurt, what do you get?
it must be the chair. I do get the smoke.
It must be the what?
The smoke.
The chair.
The chair?
He got smoked
Like
last time
sitting
too.
because I feel like you guys
okay.
taste everything and I don't.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
oh my God, I got to explain everything to you guys.
Sorry.
So
you get smoke.
I do on the taste. I do, yeah.
Okay.
Like I let it sit on my tongue for a little bit and then I swallow it and I feel it a lot.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
do you?
I get the apple out of the taste, which I really like, and it is a very long finish. I think this thing sits nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the chance to have this in Chicago earlier this year with some guys from work.
Okay.
Who, if you're listening, you remember that evening we finished up a big event for work, and we were walking back to the hotel, and it's like, hey, let's go get a drink. And then
Did you order?
Our fearless leader said, you know what? Instead of getting a drink, let's stop here and get a bottle.
Oh.
So we sat.
That's a fearless leader right
Sat in
there.
a rental car?
We sat in the hotel lobby, drank
Sounds just like a last
drank
call.
a whole bottle of Bib and Tucker. Then we moved on to a bottle of Buffalo Trace. So, but we started
Holy
with Bib and
crap.
Tucker.
How many
It
people
was
were there?
2.
Not enough to finish a bottle and a half.
Dang.
But I think there was 5 of us. It was a missed flight the following morning.
I don't know why.
Grumpiness.
Weather delays.
the weather delays in July.
What a place to work.
But anyway, it
Wow.
was, so we had this.
Okay.
I really like this. I was looking forward to trying it again. So
Okay.
I'm a big fan of this
Yeah.
one.
So I got 3 bottles of bourbon for my 50th birthday. One was Bib and Tucker
Nice.
from my good friends Ann and Glenn. Shannon and James brought me Blade and Bow.
Blade and Bow's a good one. Yep. Covered
And
that one.
then Kurt brought me a bottle of Hudson.
Hudson.
Which he hated.
You know, here's the deal with Hudson. Kurt, look at me. Eyes.
I'm looking at you.
We got to try it again.
Okay.
Because I think our palates have evolved since then. But at that point, Hudson tasted like a barn stall.
Oh.
It's when he had no class.
Oh, please. Anyways, Blade and Bow was super awesome. My favorite, though, out of the 3 was Bib and Tucker.
Nice.
It is not crazy sweet, but it's got pretty full flavor, a little bit of spice, but not too much. And so for me, out of
Yeah.
those 3, that was the most balanced.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. And
I like it.
like Alton, I think it's got a great finish. It's not.
It is super
not short. It
It's
just- it
super
just kinda
smooth.
hangs in there for a little
It
bit.
does hang, and it's very smooth.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, I dig the bottle.
The bottle's really cool.
The bottle is cool.
It feels like something that should be covered in dust. Like you found it in a
Yeah,
case
yeah.
of old
Yeah, yeah.
things.
That or it should be sitting on a piece of wood ready to shoot at.
Yep. You can do that too.
Now it's funny. It is a pretty cool bottle, but it's not one of my favorite. I don't like the dark. It's like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
Because I like them. We're
yeah,
going to
you-
get to the makers. I like the.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
You
through that
can't
one.
say anything. Yeah. So yeah.
It's dark enough that you can't tell how much is left in the bottle.
Yeah. Which also can lead to tragedy if you think there's more than
Bad things. Bad
I like
Tragedy.
I like that.
Tragedy.
I think there's a song by that
Now-
name.
Alton's all about bourbon transparency.
You lose control.
Wow.
For Thanksgiving, this one I'm going to try in a dessert. Like this one here
with the dessert or in a dessert.
in a dessert.
Okay.
What are you gonna make?
So last year, I was doing a pie out of Our State magazine or Gun Garden, one of the two, and they had a bourbon cream. Ooh. But it wasn't the bourbon cream, the drink. It was whipped cream. So you basically take heavy whipping cream, a little bit of salt. You stick it in the freezer till the bowl is just like frigid. Throw a little bit of sugar in, and then you throw like a splash of bourbon in and whip the thing up, and it's amazing. So you got like that real creamy whipping cream, fresh whipping cream, but the bourbon taste just sits right on top.
You're licking the bowl, too.
You're not wasting
So-
anything. on
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
exactly.
Are you here for Thanksgiving?
Nope, we'll be at the beach.
No.
Oh, shit.
But you throw that on top of like a pumpkin pie
Yeah, I don't care
or
anymore,
a
Derek.
sweet
I don't
potato
care
pie.
anymore.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
we're not doing anything, so we'll come over for
I think
pie.
I think number 9 should be cooking with bourbon,
It could be.
led by Derek.
It could
Hey,
be.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to
Yeah.
jump over to the makers?
Let's
Let's
go.
do it.
So this one's interesting. I was talking to the guys earlier. We were down at Spartanburg at Wofford for Parents Weekend, and we were tailgating. And I was introduced to one of my daughter's very good friends, and she introduced me to her father as Bourbon Dave, and he responded, "I'm Bourbon Tom." And so Bourbon Tom proceeded to tell me about a local liquor store called Chastain's that I've asked Alton to visit when he's down in Spartanburg in the near future. And surprisingly enough, we're so used to North Carolina where you go in and it's pretty much the same old stuff all the time. But down there they had 2 different makers, marks. bottles that were relatively rare. One was this new release, and another one was a private select specific to South Carolina, which we'll talk about in a future episode. But this particular one is called the RC6. And so what they have essentially done is taken their cask strength normal makers, and then they have added 10 different staves into the barrel just to soak in the barrel. And so these staves, they stay outside for a total of 18 months to get more kind of seasoning in the outdoors, which is 6 months longer than the typical stave does. And they literally open up the barrel.
And then just jam them in?
And they jam them in.
Dang.
And then they take those barrels and they put them down in the cellar, the limestone cellars there at Makers, and let them sit for a while. So this one, they've actually partnered up with the Independent Stave Company to get the staves. And again, they bake them in a convection oven after they've been outside, and then they stick them in the barrel and let them soak.
So these are non-charred staves, just raw wood?
Non-charred. And so this is called their...
the wood finish series.
Yeah, the wood finish series. And so it was interesting. I spent some time on their site, and they're... Out of all the bourbons we've talked about so far, Makers is the one that seems to be talking the most about the wood.
Okay.
Anyways, but
and what's the RC6 mean? Is
it's literally the code that they assign to the wood series. So these particular staves, were all again outside to season. And so they labeled that entire group RC6, and so they could have another one later on that's an RC7.
Okay.
So, anyways, but you guys take a taste, see what you think. Within this particular series, because it is cask strength, it ranges between 108 and 114 proof. This particular one is 108, which you can taste. I mean, it's got some kick to it. From a nose perspective, what are you guys picking up?
I'm sensing vanilla.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, I was going to go with the sweet vanilla, kind of mapley, maybe a light maple.
Do we know what the mash is on this one?
They don't call out the bill.
Okay.
But fruit is what they say that we should expect.
For the nose or the taste?
For the nose. For the kind of fruit.
I can smell it.
Fruit
Almost
and
like
sweetness.
cherry-like.
Yep. The taste, there wasn't a lot of mention of vanilla, but I am tasting a little bit of vanilla. I'll definitely get fruit. Definitely get spice.
It has got spice. I picked up on that right as it hit my tongue.
Yeah,
but again, this is
spice.
This is the spice that I was talking about. That's different than the spice from New Riff. This is more complex.
Agree. Yeah,
there's other flavors within the spice outside of what felt more like just pepper.
Yeah.
You just want to be more complex, Dave.
And sophisticated, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Sophisticated.
But from a taste perspective, definitely fruit, definitely spice, and then and sweet, but not like crazy sweet.
No, it doesn't. I don't taste that.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The stave part of it, I would have expected to get a little bit more oaky, and I'm not sure I'm picking up on that.
Yeah. I think when you look at the non-char or the lighter char, the deeper char is going to get you more vanilla and that oaky smoke taste.
I feel like it, yeah.
Lighter char gets you more of the leathery taste.
Yeah, so it's almost like it pulls more of that oak out the longer that the char is. Yeah.
It's good though. It's different.
Yeah,
the fruity part is what's new for me. I don't know that we've tasted anything yet that has had fruity to it.
And it's not like a sweet fruity. It's like a dried fruit.
Yep.
Like
little hints of it.
Yeah.
Like a fruit cake.
Like
might be
fruitcake.
It might be.
Nobody eats fruitcake.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Alton.
I can't put my finger on the nose on this one. Like it. I don't know if it is a wood or leather. Maybe it's more the leather.
I get more leather out of the taste. I don't know on the nose.
Yeah.
Kind of the fruiter side of it.
Yeah. And how much was this bottle?
It was in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a good price on it.
Yeah. How much was the Bib and Tucker? Yeah, we didn't really.
Bib and Tucker was 50.
60, 50, and
New Riff.
I think this was around 40 or so. I can't remember. Actually, it was a while ago that I bought it. That was about 60, right?
Bib and Tucker was 50.
50. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are only bottles to share with people you like.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize the New Riff was 112 proof.
Yeah.
Probably because that bottle's almost empty.
You can taste it. You can also drive your car on it.
Yeah.
Look, it wasn't a personal affront, Kurt.
What's What's the significance of the wax top on makers? Like
It's
I've
so
seen
fancy.
that signature
I have no
move.
idea.
Have you seen they're running an ad now, which is a pretty good spot where they talk
Yeah.
about everyone is custom done
It's
because
hand waxed.
yeah,
Yep.
because so and so does it one way, so and so is thicker,
Yeah,
and
but
so and so. That's pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
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 Haven't seen that yet.
I like the finish on this.
Yeah, no, it's
It
good.
kind of it lingers. There's still a lot of flavor in it.
Although I don't want to agree with you. I think, the finish on it compared to the new Riff.
You're just not used to agreeing. It's not that you don't want to. It's just
No, I don't
used
want to.
agreeing.
No, let's be clear. I don't want to.
It's just so damn sensitive.
It has nothing to do with my sensitivity.
So where are you in Thanksgiving? Where is this drink showing up?
This is probably the
is this
booze.
pregame?
You mean like within the sequence?
Within the day.
Within the day.
Where is this one coming out? Is it on the table? Is it pregame? Is it in the trunk? in the driveway?
For me,
This is way too nice to have in the trunk.
for me, this is a pre.
It's a pre because I think you can probably enjoy it a little bit more on the front end of it because this does have a lot of taste.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah.
I would say pre.
You going pre?
I'd go pretty as well.
In-house pre, not at the trunk.
In-house. Welcome to the house. Can I get you a drink?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not at
All
the
right.
trunk
You?
with, you know.
I mean, for me, Thanksgiving is I think you drink all day. I think it's a,
And you're at the beach? Is that right?
yeah,
You're
we'll
not-
be at the beach.
Damn.
I know.
I know. I didn't get that
Bourbon.
invitation.
We
Bourbon
might just
frosting.
show up.
There's somebody in my room.
There's room.
Somebody in the Alton suite? The McClellan?
There might be.
I know, right? Who's sleeping in my room? It's like the three little bears.
We haven't talked about this.
Did I approve that?
I didn't get a contract for that weekend.
Yeah, I think bourbon has got a good way of slowing down the day.
Yeah.
And
Like
the
it
human.
you're not going anywhere.
I like
no
that.
place to be.
I like
just
that.
slow it all down and
All right, so here's what I want to do, right?
Yes.
We need to get back out there another time.
Okay.
And sit on the beach on a cool day and drink.
slow
bourbon.
it down.
So
We can do that.
That is a great place to just slow it down there. It's
Yeah,
like
we
as
can
long as
do
you
it.
don't need to make a grocery store run or a liquor
We're
store
good.
run, you're
We're
like,
good.
I got
Slow
nowhere to
it down.
be.
Yep.
Yeah. Finish your eggs and
Yep.
have a bourbon.
yeah,
But
it's,
it's the magic counter though that's great in that
It's the
place.
yeah, I need to get down there
Just
so
shows
that
up.
there's a place that I have been that Kurt has also been.
That's right.
Because I can't have him hold that over me.
Happen.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I'll go
We
next
can make
week.
it happen.
Seriously, they got a magic counter in that place, though, Dave. You
A magic counter?
Yeah,
What does that
you
mean?
sit at the counter and like all this great food shows up.
it is. Oh,
There's
my gosh.
drinks. It's like every time I sat there, something showed
That's
up.
a good
I think
place
we all just need a dew that just lives in our house.
right, exactly.
Okay, put him back in the pantry. We're done with him. Okay, bring him back out. Wow.
I love
That's
it.
good. I like that.
I love it.
Everyone needs a dew in the
We
pantry.
do love our do.
Oh man, no, it was a good time.
All right,
we'll
so,
do it again.
So let's think about this past year. What's everybody thankful for?
Oh, you took my question.
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Nice, nice.
All right, Kurt, you first. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, and now
what are
I
you
gotta go
thankful for?
first.
Yeah, absolutely.
What am I most thankful for? Well, I'm thankful for a lot of things, but listen, I could say my family, my health, my kids, not my kids because I only have one. My kid,
The new scar on your forehead.
the new scar on my forehead. No, it's been a really interesting journey this last year and a half, 2 years, and I gotta say I'm pretty grateful for you guys. It's been a great year in that sense, and I really like the friendships that we built and where we're headed and what we've done, and I look forward to the future in that. So, yeah,
Here.
very thankful for that.
Absolutely. That's
Great.
good.
Absolutely.
Very good.
I agree.
Do, how about you?
I would say if I'm sitting around the Thanksgiving table, I would say I'm thankful for those that have supported me.
Yeah.
And when I think about the year we've been through, all the good fortune we have for our health and our living conditions. I leaned on a lot of people. I leaned on you guys a lot, to figure out this year. I leaned on my family a lot. And I'm really thankful for those who encouraged me and believed in me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It hasn't been the easiest year, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
But,
For sure.
but there's some really good people that I have the pleasure of knowing and loving that really have made it much more doable than I ever could imagine.
Well, and the interesting thing through this whole project too, we've seen a lot of people support us, which has been great. You know, so that's cool. Altoon.
Agree fully. I mean, the people, the family, I could go on and on through a list. I'm going to go to the 2 words that just over the last year and 18 months, you know, a lot of reflection on is, I'm going to say one is balance. Just thankful for the balance. You know, as things evolve, you just get an appreciation for things, and some of it is you are somewhat not a victim of your circumstances for when you can be balanced and when not, but you don't always have control. So balance that I've kind of got this year, new job, you know, new hobbies, new things going on has been awesome. Probably the most thankful though is just the perspective, which I keep trying to get added to the P's, by the way. But the perspective.
I'll write it down.
Thank you. Finally. But
Apparently, I'm the P collector.
you are the P collector. So we'll get our test results back. But no, just a perspective on things in life that have to do with family, with friends, with this project, with work. Just really appreciative of all the light's been shown on that over the last year.
That's great.
So,
Cool.
Yeah. And then bring it back to you, Dave.
Yeah. So, you know, I think when you look at all of the professional challenges that we've all had this year, this has been an amazing distraction, if you will, from all of that. And, you know, over the years, we've all certainly worked together, but I think maintaining this friendship and this partnership and kind of building this has been something that's been really important to me. So thank you guys for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, shut up. You know, obviously, you know, first and foremost, I think we are all on the same page in terms of family being number one in our lives. Yeah. Certainly, you know, I've got a beautiful wife and 3 beautiful girls. So thankful for them. It's interesting. This year has been the year that I've really realized that my parents, both being in their 80s, incredibly thankful for them, and they've done a lot for me this year, and supported me through a lot of challenging things, and just crazy thankful.
You got good folks.
Yeah, they're very good
good folks,
good parents.
Good. So, yeah.
I mean, if I can just add something, I mean, I think for those listening, I mean, I think this year and a half for all of us has been a testament, right? In that, even amongst the circumstances, whatever those might be, right? Good and bad, that there is always something to be thankful for.
Right.
Right. And we were on the lake one day, right? And we're just like, okay, like we're out on the lake. Like, okay, we're grateful for that, right? Even given the circumstances, life was still pretty good.
Yeah, I think I agree. The 4 of us really have a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the short story is, when you have a chance to have an adventure, go have it.
Yep.
Go have it.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So as we close this one out, guys,
Yep.
let's set the stage.
Uh-oh.
What's the scenario?
You are going to your in-laws for Thanksgiving.
Good, I can drink.
They don't have alcohol.
Yeah, well, I purposely picked that one because
Yeah, no, exactly.
I've experienced what Alan has experienced. So,
Oh, yeah. I love it. Amen.
what bottle of these 3 are you bringing to Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh my God.
I got it. I got it.
All right, dude, go.
Yep.
Go.
I'm going to go with Makers on this one. And I love the idea behind it. And maybe I go with the southern one. So as we're traveling back north, and bringing a little bit of the south to the north.
But we haven't talked about the South Carolina.
I know,
one
but
yet.
I know that's
You're
out there.
so anxious.
I know
you
it's
want to
out
be a
there.
Southerner so bad.
He's trying. He wore a flannel shirt the other day.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
No overalls yet.
That we'll get him there. We will get him there.
But I'm bringing the Maker's Mark.
I love it.
I think
All right.
that's a good taste, and it's a good way
I
of
don't
introducing him.
have a flannel in my wardrobe.
Oh, excuse me. You wore a flannel hat the other day. That's one up on
Well,
most.
that's true.
most
Were
of us.
you hunting? Were you hunting wabbits?
Hunting rabbits.
It was keeping his
a
dome
rabbit hat.
warm.
No, we showed up. So you couldn't make it that night, but we went, and these guys show up in like their boots, denim, and plaid shirts.
Absolutely.
And I had shorts on.
Yeah, I don't know if you got the memo.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't,
think you did.
obviously. So, anyway.
All right, Kurt, let's assume your in-laws drink. What are you bringing?
Even if they don't drink, what are you bringing?
In the trunk. You can go to the trunk. It's perfectly legit.
Look, Uncle Jim,
It would
Uncle
be-
Henry,
no.
and Aunt Tony are
Listen,
sitting out
I'm
there
telling
waiting
you,
for you, not to
I'm
mention
telling you,
Papa Ted.
I can always rely on Auntie Caca.
I'm drinking the mayonnaise.
It's,
Duke's Mayo.
It's like the
Yeah.
game Clue. It's me and Auntie Caca by the trunk.
I love it.
I'd probably bring the Bib and Tucker.
Okay.
I'd probably
Why is that?
Well, I think one, because the bottle kind of disguises what it is.
Ooh, okay, that's good. That's good.
confused
It
with
is not
non-liquor.
translucent.
It is not translucent.
That's his bell.
You know, I know my brother-in-law Jay appreciates a good sip of bourbon, and I do think the Bib and Tucker is good. Although Maker's Mark, another one top up on the list for me.
Yeah.
But I think there's something funny about the Bib and Tucker bottle, so I think just to bring it in
Okay.
and throw my in-laws would be
Okay.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, I wish you guys could see the bottle. It really is. Out of all the bourbons we've looked at,
It's a
to
cool
me,
one.
that's the best bottle.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
cool
got a lot
bottle.
going on.
Love it.
If you can
It'll be on the
imagine an
site.
extra large cough medicine bottle
Yeah.
in Little House on the Prairie, that's it.
Yeah.
Well played.
Wow.
Yeah, well
I think,
played, yes.
I think everyone now knows what it looks like.
Exactly.
pretty strong.
Exactly.
Mystery
All right.
solved.
Alan,
This was a toss up between Makers and Bib. I would probably go Bib and Tucker though, just because it's something different. If nothing else, the Maker's Mark name is known, so it'd be a chance to introduce something different. And the flavor's really good, so it'd be fun to introduce them to something new.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And you?
Yeah, I mean, my in-laws, they're all in the Midwest, and they love they love that I'm from the South, and I'm like the only bit of red clay in the family up there, and so for me, I like the Bib and Tucker. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's just a good everyday sipping bourbon. Out of the three that we've tasted today, hands down, my favorite is the Makers.
I think it's a good choice, Dave.
No, I mean, hands down, I think the Makers is my favorite. But the Bib and Tucker to me is just it just feels like it's got a little bit of a Southern thing to it. And for me to bring that as kind of, here's a little bit of the South, right? To me, that's just. That's what I'd bring, but it's a great everyday drinking bourbon. I love it. I do think out of everything we drank today, my favorite, I've already poured a second, is the Makers.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
good.
it's a good one.
It is
It's a good
good.
one.
And Kurt, thanks for the old fashioned.
Yeah, the old fashioned.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll do that on a
Great.
future show. Share some new recipes.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
right.
for sure.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I think we wrapped this one up.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for another great episode. We tasted, as you guys know, Bib and Tucker, the Maker's Mark, the new wood editions, and then finally the new Riff, which we had in a new Riff and an old fashioned.
That's right.
Made
Perfect.
by
I love
Kurt,
that.
which
That's
were
great.
I don't want them to get too excited about this, but it was a really great drink. So
I'll take
anyways.
that for the rest of the night.
yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and we look forward to chatting with y'all again.
All right.
All right,
you, brothers.
Bourbon on, guys.
Bourbon on.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.